Hey you, yeah, you. We know finals week's gotten the best of a lot of people in this class, and we're here to help you today.
As college students, we all deal with stress, particularly during final exam weeks. That's when stress is going to be at an all-time high for everybody.
Today we're going to talk about coping mechanism from chapter 3, and we're going to start us off with Nolan coming in, 6'2", sophomore.
Shear? Yep. The first topic we are going to talk about the statistics on stress. The college undergraduate stress scale, which we discussed in class and on the slideshows, has finals week as a 90 out of 100 on the stress scale. Going along with finals week, things that could fall under it, oversleeping for an exam, which is very prevalent if you have an 8 a.m. and you were up all night studying, that is ranked at an 89 out of 100. Flunking a class, which hopefully isn't a stressor for a lot of people, but for some, it is also ranked as an 89 out of 100. Coming in at 83 out of 100 is writing a major term paper, and having 2 exams in one day is 80 out of 100. And I know multiple people do, in fact, have more than one final in one day. To help me cope with the stress of finals week, I enjoy meditating and listening to soothing music.
Now we're going to go check in on Nolan. I already has a health project video due tomorrow. Probably pretty stressed out. Hey, what up, Nolan? What are you doing there?
I'm just de-stressing, getting a little yoga in, listening to some relaxing music. Got the vaporizer, nice and soothing.
So after Nolan talking about his coping mechanism, we're going to talk about stress and immunosuppression. So stress has been shown to actually suppress your immune system, and so you're more likely to get sick. So according to the direct effect hypothesis, immunosuppression is part of the body's natural response to stress. Basically, the T cells and the B cells become more active, and cortisol, which is a stress hormone, gets pumped through the bloodstream. The blood is also more likely to clot. It's actually called the hypercoagulable states. And then according to the indirect effect hypothesis, immunosuppression is basically an after effect of the stress response, and it's more likely to encourage maladaptive behaviors such as sleep deprivation or alcohol consumption or drug use. So personally, when I'm stressed out, I like to go to the gym. It boosts my immune system, and then overall, it just helps me decrease my stress levels.
Okay, so as Gep said, he likes to exercise to de-stress, so we're going to walk in and see what he's up to.
They want to be seduced, can you believe it? Whoa.
Gep, what are you up to?
Let's get my workout in, bro.
You got a big final coming up tomorrow?
Absolutely, bro. I gotta decompress somehow.
I know you've got
All right.
It's okay to move.
We'll leave you to it.
Absolutely, bro.
Yes. Yeah, do it again.
Well, thank you, Ben, for showing us what peak physical performance looks like. Now I'm going to talk about work overload and role overload with a lot of assignments and tests coming up for finals week. People who feel they have worked too long or hard at too many tasks may feel more stressed. These people who have too many tasks will have poor health habits, experience more accidents, maybe forget one assignment or not, and overall just health and decline. With role overload, that is problems associated with juggling multiple roles simultaneously. That could be doing multiple projects in one night, trying to make a health video and study for a final the next morning. Make sure you could get a planner. You could use your laptop sticky notes. Just make sure you have a plan of when you're going to get stuff done so you're not stressing over the last week or the last day of finals. Another good way to cope with stress, especially during finals week, is social interactions. With you taking time to organize out your day and stuff, study a little bit each day, you have time at night to talk with friends, take your mind off school and stuff like that, which is a great way to clear the mind right before. And it helps with stress. If you're overreacting about one final or another, you can talk to them and they can maybe calm you down. Personally for me, I like keeping a planner, organizing when I want to do my assignments and stuff like that. And then if I study a week in advance, I have time every night to go hang out with friends.
What's up, Spencer? What are you up to, man? You got a lot of stuff here. Are you going to be able to come out with us and hang out tonight or what?
Yeah, just looking over this stuff. I started studying these last week and stuff. It's about 20 more minutes of looking over this joints and planes of motion, and then I'll be able to go out with you guys.
So you already looked through stuff?
Oh yeah, I planned it ahead. I figured we would go downtown the night before.
That's better than me, man. I spend the day before just 6 hours just grinding on everything.
See, I used to do that, and then I realized I was just getting worse grades. And now with me doing my planner and spreading everything out now, it's not as stressful, and I still have time to go out and stuff like that and hang with friends. It's pretty cool.
All right, well, cool. I'll leave you to it, and then I'll see you tonight, buddy.
All right, buddy.
Thank you, Spencer, for sharing those excellent study habits with us. Now, on to my section. I'll be talking about the general adaptation syndrome, which is behind us here. Stage 1, once a stressor occurs, we'll have alarm, which is dealing with that initial coping mechanism and how you first react to the stressor. And then we move into stage 2, resistance, which is a continued coping mechanism that you deal with as the stress builds up and you choose different ways to deal with this stress. And stage 3, which is exhaustion, in which your resources are depleted due to not handling the stressor in an effective way, leading to that exhaustion and just being tired and not being able to maintain your studies and your grades. So the transaction model by Lazarus and Folkman states experience of stress depends as much on how an event is appraised as it does on the event itself. What this is saying is that higher stress is due to the negative connotation that you associate with that stressor. If you keep putting things off, you gain a higher negative attitude towards your stressor, and this leads to an increased amount of stress in your day-to-day life. Primary appraisal is basically looking at stress as an opportunity rather than a threat. You're taking that initial stress that you have over an exam or studying, and instead of seeing it in a negative light, you're using it as a chance to get better. Secondary appraisal is people's evaluation of resources and options for their coping. This is talking about who should be responsible for the stressor. A lot of people in group projects like to place the blame on their other group members rather than on themselves for the amount of effort that they're putting in. And so what secondary appraisal is basically saying that you need to take accountability for your own work and put in the time and effort to do well. And cognitive reappraisal, which is the best of the methods of the transactional model, is saying that there's a positive to changing the trajectory of your emotional outlet and positively reinterpreting the meaning of the emotional stimulus. An example of this would be if you get a low test score, instead of kind of being stuck on that low score, you use it as motivation to improve your work and do better over the semester. Personally, I like to handle my stress by taking some time away from my studies. I like to watch TV, play some video games, and clean my room, just kind of anything to take my mind off of what I'm doing.
All right, now that we've seen a couple positive examples of how to handle your stress, we're going to check out a rather negative one from Alex.
Big fault on me. Big fault on me.
What are you doing, Brass?
Building. Guy right here.
Brass,
What's up, dude?
what are you doing?
I'm playing some games. Why? What's up?
Don't you have a final to be studying for tomorrow?
Yeah, I looked at it for a little bit, but
How long have you been playing this game, Brass?
what? What's up?
How long have you been playing this game?
I don't know, like an hour or a few. Why?
Because it's midnight and your final's at 8 a.m.
Yeah. Nolan, I get it, dude. I'll look at it before class starts. I'll be all right. I don't need to study, dude. Don't worry about it.
Okie dokie. I'll let you
All
do
right,
you
guys.
then.
Guys, on me. Sorry about that. All right, so now just to kind of recap on what we saw in the video and kind of the strengths and weaknesses behind each of the coping mechanisms. Obviously, we just saw that my coping mechanism was kind of to deny that I had the assignment and kind of push it to the side, not really worrying about what I need to be doing or studying when that's really what I should have been focusing on. Everyone has their own coping mechanisms, and you really need to find the one that works best for you and make sure that it is something that's effective.
Yeah, I mean, going off of what Brasper said, his wasn't ideal, but everyone has their own way of coping with things. As we saw, I was doing meditation and some relaxing stretching with some relaxing music going. For me, that just really helps clear my mind and not stress about all the stuff that I've been studying previously that day. It gives my brain a good mental break.
Yeah, and for me personally, I've tried other alternatives, but for me, exercise is what really kind of takes my mind off of exams. I think it's super important that you need to take time to yourself and make sure that everything is in balance, because if you're too stressed out, you're not going to do as well in school, and you're probably just going to be hating life. You know, your overall satisfaction is just going to be way lower if you don't take control of your stress.
So to summarize what we all did, everybody has different coping mechanisms. There's plenty that go along with Chapter 3 and what Freeman has taught throughout this semester. Pretty much find your way to cope with stress. And so according to our buddy Walter Cannon, according to Chapter 3, you either fight or you take flight with stress. And my buddy Vrass right here, he's a fighter.